Did you know? About a third of the levels in New Super Lucky's Tale are built in a 2D style, which is an idea carried over from a previous game in the series. The idea for these 2D levels comes from the original Lucky's Tale, which was an Oculus Rift exclusive. 2D levels were put in the game to give players a short break from Lucky's Tale's fully 3D levels, which might be overwhelming to some players using VR. Before Lucky's Tale, VR games were typically first-person, as this was assumed the best way to have an immersive VR environment. However, the developers at Playful Studios wanted to try their hand at a third-person game in the medium and based Lucky's Tale on a few prototypes they'd made. Platformers typically have appealing worlds that are easy to be immersed in, even on a flat TV screen, and Playful wanted to see how this would translate to a VR experience. They also wanted the game's character to recognize the player's presence and look at the player as they played, reacting to their movements. Lots of different characters were prototyped before the team decided on Lucky being a fox. While working on the original VR prototype, the team had a placeholder capsule character that run around the game world. This capsule was later changed to a humanoid so developers got a better sense of the character's movement. At one point, Playful even experimented with a three-eyed alien with overalls as the main character. They ultimately decided to base the character on an animal and explored several mammal-based designs including a raccoon, a squirrel, and a lemur. This was because the game was VR, and the team wanted the character to seem like a stuffed animal, as if a teddy bear had come to life. Even after deciding that Lucky would be a fox, the character had several major redesigns before his final iteration. Disney characters were a large inspiration for Lucky's design, as they have a timeless quality to them. Director Dan Hurd elaborated, telling DidYouKnowGaming, "We wanted Lucky to have a timeless design and appeal, and so we looked to characters that had that particular feel to them. Mickey and Mario were standout references for us for those reasons." When Playful got the chance to make Super Lucky's Tale on the Xbox One, the team saw it as an opportunity to bring the franchise to a new audience. They furthered this ambition when they set up a meeting with Nintendo. Hurd told us, "We approached Nintendo with an early playable version of Super Lucky's Tale running on the Switch, and they thought it was a great idea. From there, the team thought about what product we were passionate about launching on the Switch, and the completely reimagined new Super Lucky's Tale was born." Microsoft, who originally published the game on Xbox One and PC, were supportive of Playful's choice too, recognizing that a Switch release might bring new players into the market and heighten franchise awareness. While making the game, Playful looked at titles like Super Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Crash Bandicoot, Klonoa, Rocket Knight, Sonic, Ratchet & Clank, and even obscure games like Jumping Flash for inspiration. The developers were also heavily inspired by games developed by Rare. Character interactions and dialogue in particular were based on interactions with characters in Rare games like Banjo-Kazooie. Lucky himself also takes some cues from other characters. For example, Lucky's kick attack was inspired by the kick attack in Battletoads. Lucky's movements were also inspired by real-life foxes. The team wanted to emphasize the character's tail, so a swipe attack was added. Lucky's burrowing came about thanks to a video of a fox bounding up and down in the snow, as well as another video where a fox jumps on a trampoline. These examples were very smooth and flowy, and lined up with the direction Playful wanted for the character. Like all video games, several ideas for Lucky's Tale didn't make the final game, including some abilities. Dan Hurd told us, "There was a feature I would have liked to include called Fox Sense that would help Lucky find additional hidden treasures and secret paths. I'm hoping to revisit that idea someday. I also think there's tons of potential in the burrow and slide that we're excited to continue to explore." Several characters were cut or drastically changed as well. The developers even made a music video memorializing a character called Cucumber Man, who was just barely cut from the game. There's also some spiky fish the team called Fugu that can only be seen in the intro of the original release of Super Lucky's Tale. Regarding characters that were altered, the Wriggle enemy originally had a creepier design with a more human face. The Yeti characters that live in Restful Retreat were once holiday-obsessed displaced snow Yetis rather than the peaceful wrestlers they are in the final game. The game had several unused ideas for kitty litter boss concepts, and the game's main antagonist, Jinx, was once a strange hairless cat in a robotic exoskeleton. The team also had unused ideas for an entire robot civilization, of which Chip, one of their guardians, is a part of. The developers at Playful lived up to their namesake by including a fair amount of Easter eggs and references in the various versions of Super Lucky's Tale. The Xbox One and PC versions have several achievements that reference other pieces of media. The achievement Gotta Go Fast is a nod to Sonic the Hedgehog, They See Me Rollin' references the song by Chameleonaire, and The Fox and the Pound is a pun on Disney's The Fox and the Hound. Several Easter eggs are spread throughout the game's Foxington area, including one Easter egg that has a special significance for Playful. The arcade machine in the treehouse has the initials JPR under the high score. This was in honor of a Make-A-Wish recipient named Jimmy who visited Playful Studios. The machine and initials are there to commemorate that visit, and the fun Playful had helping Jimmy fulfill his wish. Another Easter egg can be found in the treehouse in Foxington, where a tiny Leafy sits on a shelf. This is from one of Playful's other titles, the sandbox survival game Creativerse. There's also a tiny water well in this area, which represents an epic clash director Dan Hurd and art director Matt Burke had over the original Lucky's Tale. Hurd decided to take the well out of Lucky's Tale because it didn't follow the team's goal that every prop in a level must have an interactive element to it. Since then, Burke and the rest of the art team have delighted in putting the well wherever they can get away with. If you want to know more about New Super Lucky's Tale, the game is now available on Nintendo Switch. You can click on the link at the top of the description to go to the game's store page. Did you also know that 50 Cent was rumored to voice Epona in Twilight Princess? Or that an official Nintendo website lied about Dragonite evolving into a Yoshi? For more facts, check out our videos on Zelda rumors and Pokémon rumors.